Follow us on Twitter. Insights.
Yeah.
2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
All right, y'all.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
What's happening, folks? He's back. Oh, y'all thought y'all got rid of me, didn't y'all? Y'all thought I was gone just because y'all didn't see me last week. Nope. You got to deal with me at least one more week. I mean, Coach may kick me out eventually. Hell, he may kick me out of this show. But until he does, what up? What up? What up? Buenos dias to my people in all my Spanish-speaking nations, and yeah, man, to my people in Jamaica. Respect. Coach, I missed you, bro. What's happening?
Man, the fellas were talking about you. Want to know where you were? They said, Rick, not at the NFL Fan Day show? They said, we don't know. We're going to give him the Washington Commanders anyway. He be talking to noise. We're going to give him a team.
Hey, great show last week. I was able to catch it after I got back from Savannah. Yeah, it's been a crazy summer. It's been a great summer, and but I missed you guys. I missed all you guys, even the doubt. Well, yeah, Todd.
Don't say.
Yeah, even Todd. I missed him. So yeah. It's good to be back, and I'm Sports Diva.
Yeah, Coach. So the all points bulletin that you put out on Rick worked.
Yeah. I tried to get one more in. Just one. I needed just one more to get in because I think we're gonna have a great season, folks. Thank you for joining the Mick and Rick show, sponsored by Insights. Wow, it's just good to be back doing things that we love. I'm happy.
And Rick, it's been so much that's gone on since I mean, one of the biggest things is we've been fighting this doggone weather situation. You know, we had the tornado that had 2 tornadoes join together, come right down the street. I mean, we probably lost 15 or 20 trees at my house. The 2 homes right next to me had roof damage. One tree went through the roof. Branches came through, was over there, 9-year-old son. I mean, just he had 2 or 3 days he couldn't sleep. He had my grandson with me. He goes outside. I mean, we actually heard the train, and that sucker went through so quick, So he went outside. First thing he said, "Man, my basketball goal gone." So he said, "I guess I had to work on my ball handling." So then we had a hurricane come through earlier this week.
Yeah.
You and I were in touch back and forth, making sure everybody was okay. And, we only were out. We were down. Power line was down for a day, 24 hours. And that in itself was a blessing. But I had made my mind up. It went out like 4 o'clock in the morning, came back on the next morning at 3. I had made my mind up with 8 o'clock came, I was going to have to get those wires out and hook that generator up and spend that $75 to $80 a day with gas to put in it. But, God's always, he's been with us, protecting us. So at the end of the day, we were favored and able to survive and be okay from it. So, and I don't even touch all the craziness that's been going on with sports and everything. There were times, Rick, in the past, the Olympics completely caught our attention. I mean, but when it's in the time difference is so messed up.
Yeah.
That by the time you try to see the game tape, social media already told you who won.
Right. Right. It's crazy. You're right. The time difference drove me nuts because I'm a late person anyway, so I'm up watching this. And then fast forward to normal people time, I'm like, wait a minute. I just saw this lot. What am I doing? What am I doing? Crazy. This is driving me. And you know it don't take much to drive me crazy. So
if we can keep you out that cup, we'd be a little bit better on that.
Well, you know, even when I was in Jamaica, I just couldn't leave.
I understand. That's always the $1 million question. What's in that cup Rick has? Yeah, Rick, I can't touch that. It is what it is.
Yeah, it could be this, it could be that. It's whatever you think, whatever you guys think it is, it probably is.
Yeah, I won't argue that. Man, we were thinking just the other day, man, that last year when the hurricane was supposed to come Sunday night, a year ago, I'd have been in Canton at the Hall of Fame, driving like a bat out of hell, trying to get back to make sure my family was safe. So I mean, and this past year, I mean, we hadn't missed going in the last 4 or 5 years. Going to the Hall of Fame is really kind of special, but that getting in and out of there is the part, because it's in Canton. Hotels already sold out now for next year. So you always end up having to commute an hour and a half in. So you can only stay so late at night because you're leaving. Sometimes the induction ceremony itself not over till almost 11:30, 12 o'clock, depending on who's speaking. Right. So it's still a little special event, though. Yeah. Sports Diva on you. They tell Rick, what's in that cup? Boy, they be on you on that cup.
Yeah, Sports Diva, me and you, we can have a one-on-one discussion about that cup one day. Not today, though. Not today. Well,
you see, Dr. Miller was on last week. I
saw. And I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Miller, as well as Sam and Corey and all the guys who were on for all their work with the videos, as well as the panel. The panel was, and Kev, thank you, Kevin, for bringing a little punch to it, because I was missing the punch. I was like, no one's slapping. They're not slapping nobody around. Just a little bit. There was a little slapping around, but they were calm this year. I think the Cowboy fans, they recognize that even though every year is their year, it never is.
He said every year is their year.
Yeah. The Jets fans, they're cautiously optimistic because just 4 plays into their season last year. Yeah. I know you guys are like, hell, we got a team if we could stay healthy, right. But then the Cleveland curse, whatever the curse is, y'all haven't told me what it is.
But no, did you hear Credell with the curse about the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and the black churches in Atlanta? That was pretty deep there.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad too, because their new coach, Raheem Morris, he was my second head coach here when I was covering the Bucks. But he's going to do good with that team. He's improved. I've already seen it. He is going to light a fire under that squad. But if they're cursed, sorry, Ra, y'all might just be in trouble.
Well, Doug had that one over at Buck Stadium for a long time.
Yes, he did.
And everybody, that's where I first heard about somebody cursing the stadium. They had the posters up. Doug, take the curse off.
Yeah, the Carver houses did not do him any favors. Let's put it that way. They were real, no Southern hospitality, not the kind that you think of when you think of Southern hospitality anyway. But we know what kind of hospitality they had. They gave him.
Right.
And so, yeah, he cursed them. Damn right.
We're going to go back a little bit to the Olympics, man, and how that's going. We're not going to let that get away, but it's really been interesting with some of it, even with the basketball teams. And I don't know about everybody else, but I kind of wait on track because I want to see the finals. I can't really get into the heats that much. I like to see them when it really makes a difference. But I do get a chance now, and I noticed, and I see you caption them. One of the young ladies that was, I think she was from Howard, that was running for a different country. And it was just really kind of interesting to see some of the HBCUs that were represented.
Yeah.
You know, so that was really kind of interesting, you know. And I saw when I noticed, I heard that she was running, and she may have finished last, but I really didn't care. It was just the fact that, you know, she was participating in it.
And she made the finals.
Yeah. Which meant she had to do something to get to the finals.
The top 8.
Right.
The 8th fastest woman in the world.
Right. Man, you know, they say the 8th fastest woman in the world. Okay, and we can move on from that, because that in itself is something to be proud of.
Yes.
And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's our piece from the reporter.
So one of the moments of the meet, Monet Nichols' last attempt. She's trying to move up and make the team.
What a jump right there for her last attempt. 686 moves her all the way into 3rd place. That is what makes field events so special. You just need one attempt, one jump, one throw, and that distance was pretty good, huh, Paul?
And just look at the reaction, because that mark of 22.6 1/4 also is the distance you
almost
need
to tears
guarantee yourself a spot.
Can you
imagine? And where was she from, Rick?
Lakeland, Florida. Polk County stand up. Monet Nichols, Auburndale High School, and went to Bethune-Cookman College.
Wow, that's something there to see that for that young lady. It's the emotion they have that gets me. You know, that emotion. This is a good.
The Olympic standard. She calls her ego or alter ego on the runway Aaliyah. But everybody's celebrating here. Jasmine Moore with the potential to be the first American ever to compete in both the long jump and the triple jump in Paris. And they'll be led by Tara Davis-Woodall, a legitimate gold medal favorite.
Monet was ready for her one shot. And now the Polk County and former Bethune-Cookman Wildcat has a chance for Olympic gold. But she's not the only one representing HBCUs. Here is a list of the athletes who attended HBCUs that made the Olympic
That's the young lady that I saw, that I was when I saw that she was running the 200 meters. I was glad that you were able to capture her.
Yeah, I was too. Ooh. It was good. Monet doesn't. She goes on her long jump finals before Thursday. Right.
Here is a list of the athletes who attended HBCUs that made the Olympic squad.
Coppin State. Livingstone. CIAA.
The other HU.
The other HU.
They played today, in Nigeria.
Women's basketball. That's two from Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah. He was an alternate, Akeem Sirleaf,
Okay.
but he still made the team.
Still made the team. Woo, the hurdles. That's a hard event right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes,
That's a hard event.
Yes, it is. Trust. I tried it. It is not pretty.
Let's say it's not pretty, huh?
Not pretty. Not pretty. And I can jump a little bit. Nah. Coordination.
Hey, run and jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Clipped it a couple of times. Said, Coach, ain't happening.
He said that was enough, huh?
It went Moses.
Jim Hines. Ed Temple, the legend.
St. Augustine.
The legend. We actually have a piece that we do about her, about remembering the legends. Boy, her story is really a special one, and every time it's told, you pick up something about it that you didn't know before.
Mm-hmm.
King gave her hers.
Wow.
The legend. There were times in at least two, maybe three different Olympics that the whole women's relay team were his Tiger Bells from Tennessee State.
Wow.
And Wilma Rudolph was in the Olympic trials, and I think she got a bronze medal when she was 16. She was still in high school. He recruited her from playing basketball. He saw her playing basketball and talked her into trying out for track. Because they used to call her Skeeter because she was so fast. They said she was like a mosquito, and she had never ran track. She just played basketball. Tennessee State. It was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You know, they ran through collegiate track. They were killing people. And he was getting those young ladies from all over. Look at all the different places they had a chance to go to at a
That's
whole
what I was
different
just
time when people weren't really traveling like that.
right. That's why I was just checking out. I was like, Australia, wow.
There's your boy right there.
That man, he held that world record for like 30 years, man. It seemed like wow. That dude.
And on an academic scholarship, majored in physics and industrial engineering. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
It doesn't take a rocket science to run track.
Right. There you go, the home girl.
Jayville, Reball,
and both relays less than an hour
apart.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
less than an hour apart.
Yeah.
Ooh. They were making them a little different then.
Hey, we always said that.
Yeah. That's true. What about? And you know, the stories go on and on about him. And when you read some of it, they say the president called Jake and almost kind of commanded him, but that was not the story. He kind of pleaded with Jake because Jake told him he was a football player first.
Yeah.
But in high school, he played backup quarterback.
Wow.
He was backup quarterback. And the guys on the team, you know, the stories abound about our athletes, especially when you work up there in the athletic department. The stories abound about some of the guys that were fussing with Jake because they felt like he was showing preferential treatment to Bob. So, you know, Jake, well, baby, I hear what you're saying, but if you have a problem with it, if you could outrun Bob, then you be the favorite. Brothers turned around, went back in the line, and that was the end of it. They didn't say nothing else. There wasn't no parts of trying to outrun Bob. Jake with his soft-spoken self, that was it.
case you didn't see it at first, here it is again. Okay.
Yeah, we just want to cover ourselves for people who want to have something to say.
Yes. That's smart. Very smart.
Did you get something from that? I know I did, and I've gone back over it several times, and every time I go over it, I find something else that just kind of takes my breath away a little bit.
Man, just the athletes from our institutions back in the day. I mean, not just back in the day. And I wonder, it brings up questions of what did they have to go through on the Olympic team? Were they shielded? Were they, especially the ones during segregation? I wish I could talk to some of them now and just ask them questions about that. And how did they survive? And what kept them going? It's just, I'm honored that, and I guess that's why I have an affinity toward track and field as well. I love seeing the athletes do it, and when they're on the track, it's like there's nothing. It clears their mind. It's just them. There's no pressure. There's nothing because of everything they've gone through. So, of course, they're going to tear up the field. Of course, they're going to be great. That's what they do.
But that part you said about what's going, I mean, they may have more pressure on them because of what they do individually just to get ready to compete. Anything as a runner, and you out there for a while, anything for a runner holds you back. I mean, you pull a muscle, your ankle hurts.
Yeah.
Anything can keep you from being in optimal condition or hurt you even to get in condition.
Yeah.
And I saw something in one of the trials, which I just said I never watched, and one of the young ladies was down, and she raised her hand, and they went on and fired the gun anyway, and they hit it again because they were supposed to stop whenever they put their hand up because something was going on in the blocks. And they said she was about to panic because they had went on and fired the gun anyway, which meant the race had started. But they gave her a green card and allowed her an opportunity. But I don't like the long races, but we're in a position where I could fast forward them and catch the last 3 or 4 laps. I mean, I try to be transparent. I try to be honest. And then to see them, what they go through and all the stuff that they go through to get there for all of the athletes. Just
right.
I mean, just all the athletes to be able to play at that optimal ability. And you have it like people see it. We see them for however long the race goes on, but it's so much stuff that goes on for them just even to go through the trials, to get an invitation, to go to the trials, to compete, to have all these different things that are going on. It's just, it's incredible.
And that's why I did that on Monet in the beginning, because she was down to her final jump. And yeah, they said top 3 makes the team, but if you had a certain qualifying score, you automatically make the Olympic team. And she out jumped that score. And that's just reminded me of that Eminem song, you got one shot. What are you going to do? Are you going to let it waste?
Right.
She didn't. And that's cool. That's cool. I applaud any athlete, any person who, when issues on the line, hey, give me the ball. Let's go. Get on my back. Let's ride.
Right. And you talk about that one shining moment, it could be applicable for the Olympic sports as well.
Yeah.
It could be applicable. We still have John Grant coming up, an interview. One of friends of the program that's coming up and gonna give us some information. I mean, that was maybe one of the best interviews and informative ones that I've had. But just to give you some more information relative to, and it was no way we could include all of it, but we're gonna probably do
I had a series of childhood illnesses, scarlet fever, pneumonia, and polio. I walked with braces until I was at least 9 years old. My life wasn't like the average person who grew up and decided to enter the world of sports. Who is this? Who said this? Wilma Rudolph, born June 23rd, 1940, the 20th of 22 children to Ed and Blanche Rudolph, also born prematurely, weighing a small 4.5 pounds. She was a sickly child, struggled with health issues, numerous colds, chicken pox, measles, pneumonia, and scarlet fever. At the age of 5, she faced her most challenging illness and disease. She had polio. A side effect of her polio was something more commonly called infantile paralysis, which meant her left leg was paralyzed and she was unable to walk without a brace. Doctors repeatedly told her that she would never walk without the brace. Not only did she learn to walk without it, she learned to run. She ran track simply to stay in shape for playing basketball. Playing basketball, Tennessee State's famous track coach saw her, thought how quick and fast she was, started working out, training her over the summer. In fact, she attended the Olympic trials at age 16. She qualified to represent Team USA in the 100 and the 200 meter dashes. She failed to make the finals in either of the events, but she did win the bronze medal in the 400 meter relay at 16 years old. She ran the third leg and won the bronze medal. The American team of Rudolph, Isabella Daniels, Mae Faggs, and Margaret Matthews, all of whom were TSU, Tennessee State University, Tiger Bells. After she finished high school, she went to Tennessee State, where Temple continued to train her and prepare her. While a sophomore at Tennessee State, she competed in the U.S. Olympic track and field trials in Abilene, Texas, where she set a world record in the 200-meter dash that stood for 8 years. She also qualified for the 100-meter dash. In the 60s Summer Olympics in Rome, she competed in 3 events. She won the 100, the 200, as well as the 4x100. She won a gold medal in each of these events, becoming the first African-American to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympiad. For this, Wilma Rudolph is a legend.
Couldn't walk.
Couldn't walk.
So she couldn't walk, so she ran. How about that?
How about that? She was like the queen of the ball in the 60 Olympics. Dated Cassius Clay.
Wow. Well, somehow that doesn't. I'm not surprised. Not surprised by the Louisville guy.
Now, this is not related, but with all of the things that she went through, she had a baby her senior year in high school, and had the baby, and continued to run and finish. I mean, she went through some adversities, and to be where she is, I mean, for the doctors to tell her she was never going to walk, I mean, she was going to have to walk with braces, and she ended up being an Olympic sprinter. Oh, no, there was nothing average about her. And the more research I did on some of these track athletes, the more astounding some of their stories. You know, it was just incredible, some of the things that they overcame. And I've heard some people say, at least 2 young ladies that said Wilma Rudolph is who inspired them to run.
Wow.
And they actually wanted to go to Tennessee State because that's where she went.
Wow.
And that's one of the things, you know, the Tiger Bells for a while, if you could run in women's track at all, that's where you wanted to go. I mean, Tennessee State for a while, you know, and we're very proud of our athletic and academic tradition at Florida A&M University. But Tennessee State had that thing going pretty good in football and basketball, track. In basketball, they used to have the Black College National Championships on Tennessee State's campus back in the 50s and they called it the Little Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
And everybody wanted to go. Dick Barnett was at Tennessee State. I mean, everybody wanted to go. For you to go there, and they said to go in there that was like the crowning jewel of your participation in basketball at Black college sports.
Wow.
Tennessee State had that sucker going on pretty good.
Hats off to TSU. Hats off.
I remember they interviewed Rudy Hubbard. I mean, and it was a game, and the football coach had said he had a chair sitting next to him, and he said, "I got an interview with Florida A&M's coach," because we were in Nashville getting ready to play. And he said, "Coach, what do you have to say?" And when the camera scanned to him in the chair, it was a skull sitting in the chair. That was supposed to be our coach. And he said, "I think the cat has his tongue. They have nothing to say, and they will have nothing to say after the game Saturday night." And scanned back. I was like, boy, them old school stories, boy. They were something. Tennessee State was a few football teams that came to brag and drilled us. Jefferson Street Joe and all them were there on that football. They were so cocky that they beat us, and the band left the football field, marched across Howard Hall between Sampson and Gibbs up the hill and marched through the sit. That's how cocky they were after they had beat our butt. Man, you got to the game late. It was already 21-0 before it got to the second quarter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were rolling pretty good. They were pretty cocky about it. So it was a rivalry between us and them.
See, and I miss that. And especially growing up north, and even when I came down here, I wasn't into the history like that. So I love these stories. I love hearing about stories like this, and doing the Remembering the Legends pieces, and learning about the history of the SWAC or the SIAC even is just amazing. Just amazing people, amazing coaches, amazing athletes who paved the way.
And fortunately, I'm getting old, so now fortunately I'm still here. That's a blessing because so many of my roommates aren't here. But in fact, I only got one that's still around. But there were so many stories, even with the bands. I remember we played Cookman, and I was a high school student. We played in Daytona, and they rolled up and they pulled up on the field. They were riding tricycles and the head drum majors and stuff and making these grand entrances. And another year they came in convertible limousines and pulled up and walked and came on the middle of the field, and the head drum major came out. I mean, it was always about one-upmanship, and it was a really special time for us. And that's what the segue is with John Grant and some of the things that we're doing or that he's doing with Black college sports. And he's, been in a position to kind of capitalize on it with his experience when he was over the Atlanta Classic with the 100 Black men. And so him going to ESPN and being able to do that was, man, that's really special. And now with the MEAC SWAC Challenge game, we had a pretty good interview, and we had to edit it for the sake of putting it on the show. But we will run it as Insights Magazine, gentlemen, as its own show. I'm going to be transparent. This is the second take of this interview because I didn't click the appropriate button to start it. And I know that my time is always precious when I have the guest that I have who's a friend of the program, and that is John T. Grant. I call him Sir Grant because he has the longest title in professional sports. He's the executive director of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff, and Band of the Year competition, which still doesn't grasp all of what he does. John, welcome to the show yet again.
Thank you, Mickey. You know, I'm always delighted to be here with you. We've known each other for a long time, and certainly anytime you call on me, I'm there.
And I appreciate that, John, because those words have been true. We do cover you, we talk to you, we get insight into what's going on with the programs. And one of the things that I wanted you to do a little bit was to kind of explain a little bit how the MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff evolved, because you ought to be coming up on maybe 20 years of doing this now.
That's correct. Well, the game was founded in 2005.
How did ESPN get involved with this contest?
Well, it was a conversation with Dennis Thomas and at that time Pete Dursis about putting something, because by then what was the Heritage Bowl had become defunct after 9 years. That game, which it was designed to be a bowl game to have the champions of each conference, but the MEAC was again sending their champion to the FCS playoffs, and so they never.
Now, see, going to the FCS playoffs, as people got misled into participating in that, your school makes no money. You actually lose money doing that.
Yeah.
And
we have a disagreement about this in a sense, because I believe if you want to be considered the best, you should play the best. That's like you guys going to the NCAAs in basketball. I just think, and I understand the money part of it. I do, and you cannot throw that part out, because there's a very huge factor for HBCUs. But I miss the FCS. If you're going to play for it, I think. But
I think that you're playing again. We see it differently, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But to go, each one of our schools are strapped financially.
Right.
Every HBCU is strapped financially, and even when you go, you end up. It costs you to go. Mm-hmm. It's not like you made the comparison to basketball. Well, in basketball, every step of the way, the NCAA is funding that and financing it. Your travel,
right?
$475,000 at one time for each step along the way that you advance, and that's not the way in football, and not with FCS. And
why?
I say why? There's no money in it. The only people who make money out of it is the Power Five and the playoffs and things that they have. They're not making any money on our schools. That's why those schools decided, which is something we talk about on the show, they let them keep their own money because they were afraid that they were going to take the basketball programs out, which they still they take that from the NCAA. Then they're done, because that's what finances everything in the NCAA. Right. But there's no money in there, and the only way we make money is participation in this bowl game. And as John will talk, I'm not going to tell everything, but we kind of discussed that. So I'm going to let him kind of share what his thoughts on it are.
There was only 1 year out of the 9 years that the game was played that the MEACs actually sent their champion, and the game ultimately then folded after 9 years. And so it sort of manifested itself out of those conversations.
Okay, now you're an Aggie and a proud Aggie, North Carolina A&T. For those of you who might not know, but you deal with so many colleges and institutions and presidents, athletic director, football coaches, booster club, and support. How do you manage to be as objective as you are? Because, I know about that Aggie pride. I mean, so how do you handle that and still be objective with everything that you're doing?
Well, because of the greater good. We're blessed to have the opportunity to do something that can raise the water in the pond, certainly for the Division I conferences, MEAC and SWAC, along with the Division II conferences, SIAC and CIAA, and then our other conferences as well, NAIA conferences as well. So for me, although I did go to North Carolina A&T, my larger loyalty is to the spirit of historically Black colleges and universities. So when they win, we all win.
Now you say that and pretty much with a straight face, but I remember all the excitement that went around that game and game day. I mean, that was, and I'm kind of glad you picked that as a crowning achievement. But to be on game day is significant for HBCU sports.
It really was, and it was really exciting for us because that was the only time in the history of the MEAC SWAC Challenge that we had college game day there, and the fact that we were also a part of being in week 0 opening college football, the season, not just HBCU football, but all of college football, and having the #1 college football show on site here in Atlanta made that very just a significant. It was the second time in the history of game day that it actually was on, a part of an HBCU game. The first time was at Florida A&M, actually. I can't recall the year, but this was the second time that it was but the first time at a neutral site for HBCUs.
Wow. John, as you sit back and look at all of this and all the things that you've done and have accomplished, what is it about this game that's coming up here in a couple weeks? What is it about this game that really has you excited?
Well, I'm excited because we've got some firsts with this game. This is the first time that we've had a returning HBCU national champion, Celebration Bowl champion, returning, as the champion. So Florida A&M defeated Howard in a great game in this.
That's right, and the champs are coming back. Returning champs coming back. So everybody,
the champs are here.
I like that. The champs are here.
Past year's Cricket Celebration Bowl. So they are opening the season as the reigning national champion. So, and having the national champion here in Atlanta to open the season is a first for us. The second thing is their rival Norfolk State. This is their first time actually playing in Atlanta. So they're opening their season with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game on their first trip to play in Atlanta against the current reigning national champion. So we have all kinds of energy around both of those firsts.
And you said something there because Norfolk State they are pumping this game so much. And John is going to really give you some things that when he says them, you're going to start laughing. It's going to be something you're going to remember. But Norfolk State is hyped about this. So half of Virginia, oh man, half of them going to be there. Sports Diva, I agree. That orange and green is going to take over ATL because, like he said, Atlanta's considered FAMU North.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I know that's right. Doing the research, we see Norfolk State alumni, they have really been pushing this game with coming to Atlanta and the different activities that they have. And I remember one of Florida A&M University's past athletic directors said, man, when you go to Atlanta, it takes on a life of its own. Our FAMU fans, everybody kind of has their own thing, where they're going, where they're shopping, where they're going to eat, because of their familiarity with Atlanta and the Atlanta Classic. But it just seems that when I saw Norfolk State on there, they really are really expending a lot of energy to draw people to Atlanta. And now that you've said it's their first time, I understand why.
Well, the excitement, I think, coming out of Norfolk, now that I think I was there for the MEAC Media Day, the excitement in Norfolk of opening the season here for them is real. And of course, the excitement with Florida A&M, Atlanta's the second home. I call it Tallahassee North. The
Rattlers do too.
it's always huge there. So the energy around this year is exciting, but also the most, what's a part of that, Mickey, that's important for us. This year, ESPN is launching a series. It's called Saturday Night College Football, live on ABC, with our new deal with the SEC, ESPN's new deal. And so this game is opening college football as a part of that series. Saturday Night College Football, live on ABC. It's a primetime game, 7:30 p.m. On ABC, and it opens the season to kick off the college football season. So it's very exciting for all of us.
But tell us a little bit more about that. You said Saturday college football live on ABC. Tell us about that some more.
Saturday night college football live on ABC. It's ESPN has the media rights deal now with the SEC, and we can all recall the what was the SEC on CBS Saturday games, football games. ESPN is dubbing. We'll have those games, but we're also adding SEC games on Saturday night in prime time, and so it's being labeled as Saturday Night College Football live on ABC. But more importantly, and where it really makes a difference, is that the game, when you think about a primetime game on network television and the idea of what that does for your institution beyond just the direct payout, in my mind, regardless of the amount of money, the bigger play is it provides in terms of exposure for your school, recruiting of students, not football players, but what that does to the application of the students that are interested in universities, the opportunities for athletic departments and presidents to use that also as a driving force for fundraising from your alumni.
And one of the things that I wanted you to do,
following the sermon, they pass the plate. They don't pass the plate when you walk in the door. They pass the plate after you have been, uplifted with a message from the pastor. And that's what being on network television and playing in a game like this does. It's an uplift. It is the sermon. And those institutions, specifically the major institutions, have learned this some time ago, that fundraising is a constant effort. And you do it when your fans are most excited. And during these games, fans are most excited, and that's the best time when you want to ask them to support the key initiatives of the institution.
Good point. I'm gonna have to change that, Sir John, to Pastor Grant. That was that was pretty good there, John. I appreciate that, and always the insight that you provide into these games and how it benefits the institutions in so many levels. As we all know, athletics is merely the front porch for your institution, and your recruitment of students and your enrollment figures, it kind of goes along with the success, especially in the South, of your football programs.
Well, think of this. Drake University did a study, Mickey, and when Nick Saban came to Alabama, 27% of their incoming freshman class were out-of-state students, paying 2.5 times more than in-state students. So by 2016, he had won 3 national championships. And by that time, 63% of the incoming freshman class were out-of-state students, paying 2.5 times more than in-state students.
More money.
That is, not just because it is partially because Alabama was winning, but because Alabama was perpetually on television. And so the university did a fantastic job of utilizing the tool of television, not just to say we're on TV, that's great, but television and having their games on TV became a tremendous tool. And even in his retirement, when he left, Nick, it was indicated that the student population at Alabama had risen by nearly 20,000 from where it was when he came in. Not applications, but actual students on campus had risen nearly 20,000 during his period there, and what that meant in terms of how they utilized, the tool of television to recruit students and continue to raise funding for the institution.
Talk a little bit about some of the things that you have around the game itself. For those people who like to get in the city early, it's a lot for you to do.
Well, the beautiful thing is when you're in Atlanta, you don't have to create a lot. I mean, Atlanta itself is an entertainment mecca, from restaurants to shopping to theater to nightclubs. Just about anyone that also probably has a relative in the city. So there's family. There isn't much that we specifically have to do, but to create an environment for fans to be entertained. Atlanta offers that. We do, however.
And it's about the HBCU experience and the growth of the individual institutions.
Well, we're fortunate, Mickey, that we're in Wakanda. That when Atlanta is Wakanda. And this is the best place for what I would call our HBCU schools. If you look at them as tribes, what a better place than for our tribes to converge in a place like Atlanta, where I would call, where they say in Atlanta the players play. We're at center stage this year in prime time again on ABC. So if you can't make it to Atlanta, please tune in. That's equally as important for us, if not more, that you're watching the game. If you can't come to Atlanta, have watch parties. Our ultimate desire is just like with the Super Bowl. Not everyone can come to the game, but millions of people, over 100 million people around the world watch it, and they do it with their friends and their family, etc. And that's exactly the same thing that we're looking to create, not only as we kick off the season, but also as we close the season with the Cricket Celebration Bowl, which, by the way, will be 1 week earlier this year on December the 14th. We have a new date for the Cricket Celebration Bowl, and just excited that fans will be there for that as well.
If your school is there or not, it's a place you want to be. Here, John, talk about Atlanta now. It's like living in Wakanda. Thank you, John. I appreciate you being here so much.
Thank you, Mickey. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John Grant. Appreciate it. He always comes on, and I appreciate that. That's good looking out. He's good looking out. And he brought up some good points, man. Jeez. And the Nick Saban.
She talking about not where the players play.
Yeah. That's what they said. That's what the song said.
And that's what John said. He said, plus they living in Wakanda. He said, you come to Atlanta, we don't have to have that for you to do, because it's a lot for you to do.
Facts.
Go ahead. I interrupted you.
No. But the Nick Saban and bringing in the extra students and the publicity of not just of them winning, but them being on TV. Mm-hmm. I mean, both Norfolk State and Florida A&M have an opportunity here to really boost up their schools. And I know they're already planning on doing the commercials and just showing the highlights of them. I mean, my dad went to Norfolk State. My cousin Dominique went to Norfolk State. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Behold the green and gold. The rest of my family went to Hampton. That's another story. Civil War, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really looking forward to this game so I can talk a little ish and even say a few prayers to you, Dad, up there when we kick y'all. You already know. But yeah, this is an opportunity, though. I mean, and being on ABC, network TV, people are just going to be cruising, not even thinking it's early for college football. So then, what's on TV? Whoa, what's the EA Sport? No, this is real. And they're going to sit by and watch. Oh, man, this is awesome. This is an awesome opportunity. And I'm excited for the schools.
Yes. And John, to see his whole interview, we have it on Insights Magazine. It's on Insights Roku, on your mobile apps, and it's on YouTube. So you could pick up the whole show, but that's about half of it. But it was a very, very interesting show. And as you see, he kind of gives you a different perspective. I already knew about growing your student body and all, but when he hit about the out-of-state students, which we know it's like in Florida, you got that out-of-state tuition that kills you. And then you have so many of them that's out-of-state, what it does to what the amount of money that the institution makes. That
and the students see that. I mean, they're the ones. Coach, I remember being in Richmond for spring breaks and all, doing over my aunt's house and being up late. And BET used to show college football highlights.
Right.
Well, I couldn't remember. Well, fast forward to when I walked on FAM's campus in '86 and walked into Bragg Stadium, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've seen this place before."
Right.
And then went to the first game. I said, "This was the team I used to watch on BET."
Right.
And now, and people are more sophisticated now, doing their research early. So if they see, they're going to see the Marching 100 and Norfolk State's band, and the band people are going to be happy and want to try to come to the schools to be a part of that. And this opportunity is great. I can see why it's exciting. It really is.
It is. And that band competition is real. Norfolk State did well in the band competition last year, a lot better than what the Marching 100 did. And I think sometimes, we just we're so biased that we don't look at or realize the fact that some of the bands that we compete against are really very good.
Oh, yeah.
And the old band members who watch the band, they critique it completely different when they watch our band. And a lot of us are a little bit more critical watching them than we used to be. But some of these bands really, really get it done. And you have to, take your hat off. And see, even for Atlanta, for the game in Atlanta, the game itself is almost a sidebar. It's so much stuff that goes on in Atlanta. I mean, even when we talked about the football game in Mercedes-Benz with the Falcons, they said it'd be good when they get some fans who come to watch the game and not be in the club. But it's the same way at the basketball games. When you go to the basketball games in Atlanta, everybody's in a section where they're getting their drinks and hanging out, and not that many of them watching the game. So it's almost a party atmosphere that prevails in almost everything in Atlanta. And I remember the first time I went to K&G Men's Store, and I saw half of FAMU in K&G Men's Store, and I thought I had discovered something. And they're like, "Coach, where you been?" Is this where everybody come? You see, it's Thursday night or first thing Friday morning. We're in K&G getting our stuff. A men's store the size of Gaither Gym. Oh, that's, you kind of in heaven on that.
Yes.
So we appreciate that. So we enjoy it.
Try our Insights mobile apps and have your own personalized content experience with our exclusive content. We developed an interactive experience as easy and diversified as Netflix. You have exclusive features showing access premium features, behind-the-scenes content and programs only available on our mobile apps and our streaming Roku channel. Insights apps give you our content in your hands while Insights Roku is on your big screen. Locally owned. Globally known. Insights.
Join us on Faith TV on Insights Roku. Anytime you need to feel the word, that you need uplifting, go to Insights YouTube or mobile apps and feel His Spirit lift yours up. Pray with us on Faith TV and allow His Spirit to comfort you. I have been sent to help you find your way. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Faith TV on Insights.
Time out. Time out. This is the coach. I'm a part of the Insights MicknRick show. Now, when I can get Rick out of that cup, I get good discussion from him about the hottest sports topics. But we do keep it straight, no chaser. The more he turns that cup up, them words come out faster than a chicken pecking up corn. I'm just saying, or trying to say, what the damn hell? Just join us on the MicknRick show.
For a limited time only, the first 500 downloads of the Insights app will get free premium content for life. Watch the MicknRick show, Black History Moments, Remembering the Legends, Insights Magazine, Faith TV, along with the Game of the Week series. See Insights creative content with skits from the Church Sisters.
Oh, damn hell. I miss that dude. I miss that dude. He looked like he was in my cup, though. Jesus. He got a little flush in there in a minute. What the damn hell?
So he looked like he was in your cup, Rick.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
You know he too old to be in my cup. You better leave that alone now. You don't mess with these young bucks here.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you. Man, Rick, I've enjoyed it. Welcome back. We get ready to kick off another year. Man, no telling how it's going to go, but however it goes, we're going to be here to tell it, show it to you, talk about it. You know, we try to stay on the positive end of things. That's why we don't comment about some things that are going on. And even though they're close to home, we kind of stay out of it. It's the purpose of us doing what we do is really to kind of accentuate some of the positive things about our community and our student athletes and people in the area. We try to stay away from negative. The negative is those people that promote it to get clicks, to draw. I mean, newspapers. I mean, they'll stay on something negative and keep running it in. They'll tell you that the subscription rates are up because people want to see that. That's not really what we're about. And we don't have any problem with people who do it. But we try to accentuate the positive. Maybe our numbers are pretty good, but not as good as some of those who say other things. And that's fine. That's fine. To each their own. But we always know that if your son, your daughter, or you do something that people kind of perceive as negative, we'll go across town to tell that. But we don't do it if it's something positive. You know, people get in the car and drive across town. Girl, did you know? Man, did you
hear?
Yeah. That's not what we try to do. We try to accentuate and give some attention and notoriety to those people who are doing positive things. You know, and we keep up with a lot of the student athletes that have gone on and done things. And, you know, some of them I have to kind of say, like Jalen Martin, and his mom always stays in touch with us with how he's doing it. She was in Las Vegas with him when he was playing with the Knicks in the summer league team. And, you know, we just really kind of proud of some of these student athletes that haven't forgotten about Insights. Now, not all of them are like that. Some of them don't remember us anymore, but that's fine. We just want to let people know how they're doing, what they're doing. And so, you know, if they come on TV, to turn them on and watch them if they're playing pro sports or if they're doing something positive in their life and in their career. I want you to be able to say, man, the Insights told us that's what she was doing. Insights told us that's what he was doing. And we always talk about Dr. Miller. She was a Rattlerette because we weren't the Lady Rattlers then. And now Dr. Chiquita Miller. You know, Dr. Roslyn Osgood, senator, pastor, just some of those young ladies who played for us have gone on and done well. And some of their offspring. So we're just really kind of proud of them. And we want to thank all of you who with us. Kind of give us a shout out. Keep following us. If you stay on there, our objective is to entertain you, educate you. And there's one more, Rick.
Drink with you? No, that's right. I'm sorry. That's after the show. My bad. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. Next week we're gonna have Ricketts head football coach, Coach Lewis, with us, and you should be able to get something from him.
Your attention, please. Stay up to date with the latest latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.
Insights is the copyright of MAC4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of MAC4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of MAC4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representation.
We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. It's just two Kappas bringing it to you.
Just two brothers, baby. That's it.
Two brothers. We appreciate y'all.
Yo.